I did mine. Let's teach something. I don't get involved in details. I once spoke here and nobody was here. I told her I did mine. It was just thought. It's such a job to believe it's only him. Anivale malach, anivale saraf. What's going on? Because every medium, I don't care if it's a malach or a saraf. A saraf is much bigger than a malach. A saraf is gogabaldi. It's not negeya. Everything in the world pulls you away from Hashem. There's so many nisyanis. Everything you lose sight of the truth. That it's only the Eibush. That's all you have in this world. That's where he left Mitzrayim. It had to be only with the Eibush. And before Mashiach comes, Ein Lanu Lishayin El Avinu Shabashamayim. It was always like that, but more now. Just like before that Gula, there was only me. Only me. Before the end, you have to get the message. There's only the Rabbeinu Shalom. Only you have no friend, no nothing. Don't be spoiled. You have the Rabbeinu Shalom. By the way, there's great news coming up. Over Pesach, the Radassa says, "Give Loseinu v'Pedus Nafshenu." Pedus Nafshenu is the Ruchnius. You can get rid of all that Ruchnius, the Chametz. Now is the time to be Mespalel. Pesach means Pesach. It's a time to speak up. Kana ben Shoel. Ask a whole Yom Tiv. Eibush to help me. I want to tell you something. There are some people that are so steeped in the Yetzer Hara that they don't really want to get out. I once dealt with an official, the guy was going to jail, and they were talking to the wall because his Yetzer Hara was so strong, he wasn't really interested in conquering it. People have such a bechina to a certain degree. Now, if they daven against the Yetzer Hara, they're even bigger and better, because like it says by Kol ben Yefuna, Ekev Hoysach Ruch Acheres Hoysabai. Because he didn't even want, he wanted to go with the Meraglim, and he davened against his Ratzin. That's why he's in a bechina bigger than Yeshua, because he had such a big Yetzer Hara. The people with the big Yetzer Haras, they're the people, they're everything. Don't look for trouble, but that's the matzah. Anyway, I wanted to say, I used to go be by the comments, and I used to think this aver, that aver, let's work on this. Pshas Maisa was into that stuff. Today, because the Alta of the Novandik says you have to be Lord, l'sakein chesroinai. Lord, you're on fire. Get rid of that chesar that I have. And I tiny, if the Alta would see us, he would say, Lord, lahakir ma'alosoi. You don't chap who you are. Your church is going to go all out. Don't chap who you are. No matter, we know. It's not real. It's not this. If you would know the other side, you'd be maskim. I'm nobody. Yetzer Hara, you have your law be by the chametz. One big chametz out there that tells you you're not worth anything. Why did he bezraya netuya? He didn't just take us out. The way he did it. We're big with the night of Pesach. We go around like kings, like queens, like princes. When Yid has to Zmaraimam, you didn't just go out of jail. No. I don't just go out. The smallest Yid had 90 top quality donkeys with all the gold and silver Mitzrayim. He went down. The smallest nobody went down with 90 top quality donkeys. They're like trucks, loaded with gold and silver. Now, and we're still not up to Bizas Hayam. Bizas Hayam is a ganzanayim matzah, much better than this. What Yid went out, how rich they were. They came out and that in Gashmias and Ruchnias. They went out and they became new people and they steig. Now, here's the thing. Korban Pesach, the time of Achdus. Why is a good aseiza, it's a chabura. Only a chabura. What's this chabura? A chabura means people are bending. They're makir someone else. That's why you have a shepselah. Shepsela bends. He doesn't stell sich pain. He bends. He gives in. He's mush. A yid has to be mush. It's time for ayin teva. You want to be zeichet to high madregas, spend the whole yom tov davening for your worst enemy. Chazanish is mayayitz these things. And Shviras Hamidus, daven for the guy that you don't like. Daven for him. Daven that he should be matzliach. Hashem will pay you back. You'll get paid back kiflei kiflayim. Daven for your enemy. Put koiches. Oh, I wanted to tie a vod that when were the mitzvah finished? When it says that U'mitzrayim noisei achareim. Freit Rashi, what's Mitzrayim? Lashon Yachid. Some say Sarei Shal Mitzrayim. By the way, Sarei Shal Mitzrayim said, Halol oiv the Zara. The Jews also sinned. That was b'sheigig and that was b'mezid. The ganze knack that we're zeicher to go at it b'sheigig. The Chavis Abavas has a whole shmusen. The yik is, what's your ratzon? He is so heavily involved in that nekuda in his akdama b'frat. So the main thing is Achmona Liba boy. The mouth is round like the heart. Take is on it's a broken heart. It's on the prusa. Everything said on the broken heart. That's the whole. You see, the whole Haggadah is said on a broken matzah prusa. You're broken. Now you made it. Now you're fine. You feel I'm not so good. That's a gavaldik. All those inferiority complexes. Thank the Rabbeinu Shalom. Thank you for making me inferior with that inferiority complex. I go around all year like Leil Pesach on the Prusa. You and all of on the Prusa. You say the whole. You uncover that Prusa. You whole lachmanya. You're inviting everybody. You're crazy. Come inside. What do you have to eat? You know, I'm all in Yerushalayim. Chazal say they used to write the menu on the doors. I'm all Yid Yerushalayim. Everybody knew there was big Bali Chesed, Yerushalayim Yid. So they invited Yid to come. They said, you want to come to me? We're serving kach, v'kach, v'kach. And the next door, he's serving this. So you didn't have to go in. Oh, he's serving, that's what I want. Boom. So now you're showing people come inside. Ganza Bal Chesed. What am I serving? Lachma Anya. Lachma Anya. That's what you're serving, and you're proud of it. You're inviting everybody to eat this stuff. And Tarot is that you're going to have an aliyah and ruchnis if you eat by me. Because you're going to see the lachma anya in front of you. By the way, I want to tell you something. The only way you're going to appreciate the chastei Hashem is if you remember the doctor said, Rachmana litzlan, kach v'kach, and remember everything turned out good? You must remember that visit to the doctor and his sad face. Remember that time you owed so much money and suddenly David helped you? You must remember that threatening phone call. Why aren't you paying? You must remember the pain. The whole lachma anya. If you don't remember that pain, you don't appreciate all your yeshuas. It would be kedai that before Pesach to write down all the times in your life. The before, not the after. What it used to be like. Nebuch, the machlekes that went on and suddenly everyone's b'shalom. Remember all the details of the machlekes. And Pesach night, look, you save me from the machlekes, you save me from debts, you save me from refuah. All lachma anya, you get the tzabrach and the matzav. You got to remember that in order to appreciate. That's why there's so much negative stuff. Dom tzvadei kingdom. You could have had all that and you didn't. The only way to really be happy is to remember the bad part that didn't happen. It's so important to make records. That would be an emes of Pesach to sit down. Remember that time we had such sorrow. People forget, it goes over your head. Hashem Yerachim. The whole night of Pesach is Bikurim, Mikra Bikurim. The Alshach HaKadosh says the reason why Mikra Bikurim is such a taram. It's all a parade, but everything. Why? Because the ikar is thankfulness. And tonight you get a big shot. Thank you a million times. Sam Soiber says not only for Yitzim, your own Yitzias Mitzrayim. Boys in my class, the 9-year-old, each boy had to say over all the nisim, I went, what happened? I once had a headache, and I davened to Hashem, and it went away. Good, next. I once had this problem, I davened, it went away. That's what I would do, Pesach night. You want to bring it alive. Kindle have to become close to the Eibishter. That's Avodas Hazman. I'm sorry, but I'm for Musar. Now, I don't know, you can do what you want the rest of the year. Afilu kolona chachamim, kolona nevainim, kolona yedim esatayre, you big lumdim. Mitzvah, it says often, Leon Musar, don't be such a lumpin. Leon Musar, you know they make fun of the chacham for the manishtan. How can they make fun of him? He's the only normal guy in the family. The other guy's a halmashuga, gatzma, Russia, but it's a weird family. Ain't a mala, and everyone's busy making fun of him. Oh, chacham for the manishtan. Why do they make fun of him? Because avodas hazman is to be a tam. Don't be so smart. Be a tam. Call a marba l'sabi sees mitzrayim erezim meshuvah. You know what they tell the chacham? They say aim after your nachar pesach v'yikrim. What's that? Keep the taste going. The chacham doesn't. You have to keep it musa. Musa means chazara. You have to go over it, to be happy again and again, to repeat all the wonderful things going on in your life. Oh, Pesach, you can spend time. Now, I want to tell you, there's one person that's the luckiest person in the world. I am Tevmel Shalom. It's gewaldig. Anyway, I mish. People don't mix, I mix. I mix beer with schnapps, with wine. I take it too. It never bothers me. I was never makabel. The Welt says you're not supposed to mix. It messes you up. I always mix all my life. I never say, I don't hold like that shita. If you're not into the shita, you don't have problems. Once you make a shita, I'll tell you something else. For years, I used to go to the Beis Medrash to learn. And I used to go to, and I wanted to sleep in Beis Medrash. I'd rather sleep there than in the house. So everybody thought I was a big masmid. Look what's going on. Everybody thought I was a big masmid. And I used to go and sleep Shabbos afternoon instead of sleeping home. As long as the Beis Medrash. After an hour or so, I woke up, but I learned something. I always took a coffee before. And the coffee always had caffeine. And as soon as I took the caffeine, I fell right to sleep. Because I'm rather not in that mahalach that caffeine keeps you up. It helped me from them. You should know, years ago, I used to eat sugar at night, snack. Until somebody told me it keeps you up. As soon as he told me it keeps you up, sugar at night and keeps you up, the next time I took sugar, I can't sleep. Because I heard so I decided, you got to go like the rules that I can't sleep. Yeah, I promise you. Till one day I got up, I says, Ganuk! By me, it's different. So for 10 years, it worked. I ate sugar at night and that was fine. But afterwards, I fell in. You fall into the, a sviva. You have a sviva. The sviva haltazay. Chaim Tevmel Shalom. I want you to know I'm very oiskematet. I'm very, very tired. I've been watching my wife work all week long. I'm so tired watching how she works. I'm oiskematet. I'm looking how she works. The Welt says, I love work. I could watch it all day. I close the door, I don't want my wife to say, Bist gerecht. Chaim Tevmel Shalom. It's rather very good. I mish. Anyway, have a good time, Pesach, crack some jokes. Mach freilach. I have Shlivovitz for all those hardcores. I have Shlivovitz, don't worry. I have kosher for Passover schnapps coming up. I will not let go of my minig. Big tzaddikim, if they didn't keep their minig, they were in trouble. It's put down like this, Chazal. So I'm very makbid. I stick to my schnapps over Shabbos. Over Yom Tov, I'll be drinking. What a simcha to Yom Tov. Now, the best thing, the Avas Hashem is apparent to Chaga Aviv. It's Aviv. It's got to be spring. Look at the weather. Look at the weather. It's delicious. Look at how beautiful the weather is. That is a simon. Hashem is talking to us. Hey, Bikas Ilanais. Lihanais by Bnei Adam. I made that to make everybody have a ball. It's part of the bracha. What do you want more? Adam, there's also that type of bracha. Machziz, we hear from, but here, this month is a month of Hashem is showering us with love. You know what this from HaKadoshim say? It's Ayah Kodesh. There's you know, Yitzchak Avinu wanted to bench Esav the night of Pesach because there's a treasure of Abba coming down from Shemayim that night. A treasure. It's waiting for you. Don't be a nar. You know what Rav Dessa says? Rav Dessa says that there's gold in the streets and people don't pick it up. There's so much waiting for you. Don't be nispo. Keep davening. Hashem is testing you. Have patience. You know what's wrong with the eagle? No patience. We're all, you see, I'm davening so nothing happened. No, patience. Going out of Mitzrayim. And, you know, Mitzrayim is, in Novandig, they didn't like Tzimtzum. You're sitting at a Sheva Brachas, and everyone is like this. You know what a Novandig would do? He'd suddenly blurt out and say, I need to tell I get Mazal Tov L'chaim Getzel to break the Tzimtzum. Novandig hated Tzimtzum. They say a story through Gershon during the war when he was in concentration camp. So the Nazis tried to tease the Jews. So they took fresh bread and they baked it and they stacked it up against the wall of on shelves, whatever, and it smelled like Gan Eden. And anybody dares get near that wall, so the Yidden should starve. They were starving to death, so they should get, you know, this is how the story goes. Rabbeinu, Reb Gershon, I want to eat, I'm going to eat. I wonder how much he wanted to eat. That's another question. He used to leave over his leftover in the concentration camp. You have musik and have lines of people waiting to take his leftover. That's the story. He says, no one's stopping me from eating. No, I got to eat. So we went ahead. He grabbed some bread. I don't know what he did there. And he ate right there. Don't stop me. No. And the Vardig is don't like to be, Reb Gershom especially, used to tell me in Avodas Hashem, what kind of bטחון, this, that, I'll say do like this, yes, he gets. Be relaxed. You're in the lachatz of Mitzrayim, and it's taiba urechava. Zavas chal. Relax yourself. The Eibishter wants us, nafshi k'gamel alei ima, like a babela in his mother's arms, like a shepsela, where Hashem shepsela, if that's where you take the shepsela. I'll tell you another reason why you put up the shepsela up there by the. You know why? I'll tell you, Murder shot. We shechted. Oh, you Egyptians, that's your God? Oh, so interesting. Well, we plan to shecht it. There's a pasuk in the Chumash where Moshe Rabbeinu said, are we going to be Tayavas Mitzrayim, Yiskaluna? We're going to shecht the most Tayevu. They hate, they go sugar. You're going to shecht my garden in front of my eye. You know the Makas B'chayris, Chazal say, they cried more when the gods fell dead on their noses than when the sons died. You know, they were from those days. They cried more. They went with sugar. The gods. They went with the Avodah Zarah used to be a zach, you know. And you're going to go, oh, watch this, Bubby. And it's the same guy. Yesterday, you were like this. You make a wrong move, the KGB, right? Now, oh, hi, KGB. Watch what I'm going to do. Watch this. It takes a shepsel. See this? Your God right here. Watch. Le'ein Mitzrayim, Shabbos HaGodol. Shach. See that? Now I'm putting the blood up there. that's a schus for me, that I showed that I'm not afraid. That's a schus. That's my pshat. And why the blood of Achakach, somebody told me the Kadakemach says the same thing. To show you're fearless. Also shows you want to be a nice person. You want to leave Mitzrayim are nasty people. You want to merit to leave. So when you put up your shepselach, I'm eating it. You like shepselach, Mitzrayim. We eat it. We are. You are what you eat. You know that. We eat shepselach because we're going to be edler people. We're not going to be Mitzrayim. That's why the Mashlis kills them, doesn't kill us. That's my other pshat. And also that's why you start off with halach ma'anya. First thing, I'm a nice person. You ever have jihad? They're very from, you should know. You know Arabs daven 5 times a day? No, but that's a good learning. Yeah, nechte getog. Learn a good stuff. Jihad, what? Oh, they fast all month. You know what they do during the fast? Hajj Ramadan, it's called. You ever have Hajj Ramadan? You know what they do during Ramadan? They kill each other. That's Ramadan, because the guy gets up in the mosque and he starts screaming. You got to be frum. Frum means kill everybody. That's frum. The more frum you are, remember the note? He wrote, Rabbi Yosef Yafi, an Arab listens to me. I better watch what I'm saying. All the Arabs, don't worry, I'm your friend. Please, I'm a nice guy. Taka says, the Mashiach says, that before Mashiach comes, Yishmaelim, some of them will do tshuva. You know that? Because Yishmael did tshuva. So anyway, they're shaykh to tshuva. So this guy, he wrote that he likes Mendel. This Arab wrote, remember the letter? He gave us a free telephone. He was a nice guy, this Arab. And he watches Mendel. That's all he watches. He holds Mendel as the answer to all the problems. An Arab! And what does he like about Mendel? It's because he's peaceful. He says, I hate religion. No one's going to get me into religion. I see what religion is. Blow up buses, kill people. I don't like religion. This Arab, he wrote that. But he likes Mendel. The main reason he wrote is because Mendel's funny. You hear that? Because Mendel's funny. I'm still living off that. I'm telling the Arab, thank you for the compliment. Anyway, it was much appreciated. You think I'm funny? Now I can sleep at night. That's all. If you ever see me, I'll look a little bit a little under the weather, a little bit weak, a little bit not so by myself. What's eating me? What's the matter? So I'm petrified. Maybe some people don't think I'm funny. So that's very hard for me to live with the pain that people should think I'm not funny. Please. You know, I said this on my grave. I don't care what you write. Just write that I was funny. Now, by the way, it says, Chazal say those two, Batchonim, the B'nai Olam Haba. You know that? Chaim Tov Shalom. Should have a lichtige freiliche Yamtiv, L'chol HaDayis, lichtige Deiris. We should have Shidduchim, and we should have Ruchnius, conquer out the Yetzirah, and have him hanging like Haman. No more of this garbage, Yetzirah. Let's shut up. And we're going to have Pari with all the shtick. Pari's Yetzirah. As Vil, he does wild stuff. Pari, it's over. And the Gula Shleima is coming up. And I want to give a l'chaim to Rabbi Biderman B'Myuchid. He's my hero. Rabbi Biderman, Rabbi Rush, Rabbi Yashir, Rabbi Yisrael Brog, all those people that put out things on Bטחון, those are my heroes. I daven special for them. Notice how successful they are. That's all my tefillahs. I'm joking. Anyway, you notice how successful I am because Kalam is Baal Bat Chaveri and Tchila. That's why Chaim Tov Shalom. Anyway, have an ayin taiva over Yom Tov again. Daven for your competitor. What competitors? Cut out. There's one Abish to. What was the whole story with Parai? They're bigger than us. There's more. Vayakutsu. We can't. You can't begin. So let them have a lot of people. What do you care? No. There's some mitzumtzah. Mitzrayim. Don't be like Parai. let the other guy steigen learning and say, hey, Bishta, look what you have. Look at him steigen. Like, you see, I'm like this. I watch my wife work all week and I do nothing. And I'm so happy for my wife. Hey, Bishta, look what a tzaddikus you have. And I'm never tired because I've been watching my wife work like a dog all week. God, I wasn't feeling well. You heard my story? How I pulled out of it? I went to the doctor, which I wasn't going to go so fast. Mamish couldn't move. Go to the doctor. Now, it could have been something serious, or it could have been a zog. I says, Rebbeinu Shalom, tell that doctor to say it's nothing. It's not the serious stuff. 5 minutes after I davened for that, I come to the doctor, and the doctor takes a look at me, and he says, look, most doctors would say it's the serious thing, but I'm saying, nishkefalach. Let's look it over another 2 days. I came back, it was Erev Shabbos, he was closed already, there's a sign. Yeah, Yetsu with the doctor, and it disappeared, Baruch Hashem. Then it got a little worse. I said, hey, Bishta, I had enough. Suddenly it got better. I work, I daven that my class, when I was coughing a lot, it's not nice for the class, Hashem help. As soon as I walk into the class, I stop coughing. As soon as I walk out of class, the coughing comes back. You get what you're davening for. Once I had a friend of mine, Moshe Yakubovich, his car broke down on the way to Lakewood, and he says, hey, Bishta, just let me get to Lakewood. So the car suddenly started moving. Boom, there's a sign, Lakewood. Right after that sign, his car died. He still had a mile to walk to his house. So he said, I should have davened neighbors to help me get home. So like, whatever you say, ask to get close to the Eibush, over Yom Tov, get close. It's so wonderful. I promise you, if not for my involvement with Hashem, I would be out cold for the next 3 weeks. With a serious Maisa. And because I'm so busy, I talk. Able to do me a favor. I talk Hamish. And sometimes I tell him, I can't hold out anymore. I had a lot of pain. I says, I can't hold out anymore. As soon as I touched the book disappeared. I say, you can do it too if you usually don't kvetch. But if you're always talking like that, I don't know. Anyway, let's move. Chaim.